Ladies, can you share examples of when you hit on men and they were clueless? Like, how often do you flirt with men you're interested in and it just fails? And they're unaware you're hitting on them. A girl I worked with invited me back to her place to sample a cake she had made. We get to her place, and she explains that she just needs to frost it before we eat. Proceeds to ice the cake, periodically dipping her finger in the bowl, and getting me to taste it. After a few rounds of this, she then dips her finger in the bowl, and proceeds to porn star suck a gigantic amount of icing off it. Me, yeah, looks good. We ate cake, and I left. 19-year-old me was fucking stupid. Had the hots for this guy. Very attractive, intelligent, talented, hilarious, the works. And we were close friends. I would look at him from across the room, smile at him and make stupid faces. I would come and hug him when it was cold or I was just bored or whatever. I complimented him and listened to his stories about his childhood and him opening up about abuse and all that. But he had no clue I liked him. I spent weeks doing these things. And so did many other girls. But he was totally clueless and thought they were all just being friendly. He had low self-esteem. So one day we were alone and I just kissed him. And it blew his mind. And then we started dating and we haven't stopped for 2 years. Girls, this is how you get through to a guy. I second this, just hug us and kiss us and we'll get it. Right? I'm so oblivious when it comes to girls giving me signals. Because half of the time when girls are being too nice to me I often get that love at first sight thing, and when then I do make the first move it's like, nah, I'm not interested, I was being friendly. I don't know how many times this has happened to me and I end up being real careful with my heart. When I was 17 I met a guy at a house party who was super cute, and very quiet. I found out from our mutual friends that he had never had a girlfriend. He was very lovely to everyone, and seemed to not pick up any signal I gave him. That night I spent an unusual amount of time with him in comparison to others, laid next to him on our friend's trampoline and chatted about our lives and interests, even jokingly and drunkenly sat on his lap at one point. I was not too long out of a relationship, young, drinking and uber confident that night. I flirted almost the whole way through with constant innuendos, little jokes and compliments. As things were wrapping up and some people started going, with still a significant group there, I asked him if he would be staying late with everyone or heading home. He said he wasn't sure, and then offered to walk his friend home, another girl, long-term friend with no romantic feelings, and just said an awkward goodbye to me. Luckily I thought it was cute, he was making sure his friend got home safely and his friend pointed out the obvious to him. She asked why he didn't try and kiss me or ask for my number, and had to spell out to him all the obvious moves I'd made that night. When he came back he made an effort to find me again, and we had our first kiss. 8 years later we're married and expecting our first child. I can't thank his friend enough. I wonder how long I would have had to chase or if I would have just given up. To this day when we recall that night with our friends, all of them say they don't understand how he could have been so oblivious, but because he wasn't used to the attention he just assumed I was just very nice and was maybe like that with everyone. Not sure if anyone else is going to point this out, but I'd say that not taking advantage of an inebriated girl is definitely a point in his favor. A really sweet story all around. Here's why. A lot of guys grow up thinking they are hot shit and that women want them. They want to get their hands on any decently attractive woman that gives them any sort of attention at all. So when a girl gives them any attention, interested or not, these guys will make a move on them. Now if the girl was interested, she thinks, oh wow, he picked up my hint, he's so confident the way he made a move on me, when in reality, he was going to make a move anyways just for the simple fact that you hung around him for more than 30 seconds. Most guys do not pick up on the hints women drop. Most hints that women drop are very subtle to everyone except the woman giving them, who feels like she is going way out on a limb. Then you have the other types of guys, like the one you married. He grows up just a regular guy, without that I am the shit, and chicks want me attitude. Since he's not arrogant, and not a dick, there's usually women that like being friends with him. Since he grows up with women being friends with him, he is used to female attention, and females spending time with him. So when a female that is interested in him spends time with him, he thinks she's just another female being friendly. Women that are friends with a guy will usually do and say things that they will not do and say with non-friend guys. Women will be overly touchy and show affection, even if they are true friends, because it's just how most women showed that they care. So if a guy that is used to female friends acting like this, then a female that is trying to flirt with him is going to appear just like a female friend, like I stated earlier. I read this somewhere on Reddit: what's subtle to you is invisible to him. What's obvious to you is subtle to him. What's obvious to the point of embarrassing to you is starting to be visible to him. I went on a date with a sweet guy who didn't catch that I was really into him until I started playing with his hair and leaning on him at the bar. Married him, but he swears to this day he didn't think I was into him until I played with his hair. Never mind, I was giddy the whole date and trying to get physically closer to him. So, ladies, maybe more physical attention? Was driving a girl back to her place twice after parties. She asked me twice if I wanna go in and drink something. I responded twice, nah, it's too late, I just wanna go to bed. Well, wasn't the brightest with 18. Similar thing with me when I was 20. We went out on a date and it went really well. I took her home, we talked for a while at the door, and when it became silent she said her parents weren't home and asked me if I wanted to come in for some tea. I just said, nah, I don't like tea, see you tomorrow, gave her a kiss in a cheek and went home wondering WTF had just happened. Good to know I'm not the only dumbass. 18 was a weird year for me in high school with regards to girlfriends, or not. One girl I more or less accidentally started dating. We also accidentally broke up. To this day I still don't really know what happened there. The other girl I had been hanging out with for a while. One day in a back hall after the school day she pulled me to herself, took my hands and literally placed them on hers with her arms extended up above her head against the wall, and I didn't get the hint. I mean, seriously. What the fuck, 18-year-old me. Personal story. I'm going to see a Tinder date at her place, we talked and the subject of massages got up. I enjoy doing them, not in a sexual way, I usually do deep massage, it hurt, she asked for one, I said sure, started on the sofa, she said she wasn't comfortable enough, we went in her room. She asked if I mind about removing her bra. I said no, but still had no clue about it. I massage without oil, she had to propose twice for me to use her oil. 3 minutes later she said, you know that oil is eatable. At that point I understood it. I am no lady, but I look back at some spots that I was ridiculously clueless. I was a virgin up till the end of college. One of these clueless examples: I am moving into a dorm and my friend is helping me. She goes all out and stays basically the whole day helping go from apartment to dorm. At the end at night we are done and I am sitting on the table helping her with math and she is standing leaning over my shoulder. At some point she goes and bites my neck. I am like, ouch, why did you do that? And she is giggling and says, I am gonna sleep over, okay? And I am like, sure, you can sleep on my bed and I'll sleep on the floor, and she mumbles, that's not what I meant, leaves shortly afterwards. These are the moments that I would like to take back. Haha. When I was about 16 I was at a friend's birthday party. She had friends from out of town visiting. One of the girls was cute and we talked for pretty much the entire night. She gave naive 16-year-old me every sign that she was into me. I thought she was just friendly. At one point we are sitting in the back of the room watching a movie with everyone and she started showing me how her Velcro fly on her pants was so easy to open. She opened and closed it in front of me multiple times. I mean, Velcro is cool, but it's not that different from a regular fly. She showed me how to get into her pants and I thought she was a Velcro nerd. Dude, she's not hitting on you. She just wants help with her homework. You said that to a guy? Lol. I had a girl one time ask me for relationship advice on various guys she claimed to be seeing. She thought she was being obvious flirting with me at the time and wondered why I didn't ask her out. It took her asking me out to drinks before we went out on a date. Agreed. If a woman seems to be hitting on you, she's probably wants something from you that has nothing to do with sex, a relationship. Not necessarily, I was oblivious when my now girlfriend jokingly called me daddy. I was her father for the opening scenes in a play that we were doing. She laughed at everything I said, told me I should teach her ukulele sometime, and offered to help with my college algebra later one night. It took that, plus asking to play pool, then ping pong, then foosball, then darts, then asking for me to show her some stuff on my ukulele, and then she kissed me. Then I got the fucking hint. She most certainly did not want to just help with homework. I had a girl who I taught myself chemistry just so I could tutor her. Brought her grade up from an F to a B. She even agreed to a date with me, and then the week of the date she cancelled on me and stopped talking to me.